nature does not bestow life as a privilege. Every breath must be purchased in blood and flesh. The weak are swiftly crushed beneath the talons of fate. Only the most ruthless possess the strength to walk through death itself and seize dominion at the very summit of the food chain. Dawn breaks across the East African savannah. The first rays of light pierce the horizon, painting the grasslands in a blaze of amber that stretches as far as the eye can see. Morning dew still clings to every blade of grass. The cool air carries the scent of damp earth. And across the plains, life begins to stir. But beneath the knee-high grass, where the warmth of dawn has not yet reached, a shape lies pressed flat against the ground, utterly motionless. A lioness, her amber eyes unblinking, locked onto a single point ahead. Less than 330 feet away, a herd of Cape buffalo, over 400 strong, moves like a living wall of steel across the grassland. Red dust billows behind every footfall. The sound of hooves striking the earth rolls like war drums across the plain. The African Cape buffalo is no easy quarry. Each one weighs nearly 1,800 pounds. Their horns fuse together at the top of the skull into a solid shield of bone, so dense that even a rifle round struggles to penetrate it. The local people call them the Black Death, the animal that has killed more hunters in Africa than any other. But the pride must eat. And on the savannah, hunger does not permit cowardice to exist. The lionesses slip from the scrub and fan out in a line in absolute silence. They move low to the ground, bellies nearly brushing the grass, each paw placed down as though it carries no weight at all. This is not blind instinct. This is strategy passed down through hundreds of generations. An old bull standing at the edge of the herd raises his head. His nostrils flare. He has caught the scent of death. A bellow erupts. The herd closes ranks. Cows are driven to the center. The largest bulls wheel outward, horns leveled at the enemy. A defensive formation materializes in under 3 seconds. The lionesses attack. One lioness leaps onto the back of a buffalo that has broken from the herd, her claws sinking deep into the thick hide. The buffalo bucks violently, spinning, trying desperately to throw the attacker from its back. But Cape buffalo never abandon their own. The strongest bulls wheel around, horns lowered, and charge directly at the lioness. The first blow sends her into the air. She hits the ground, rolls twice, then staggers away. The attack has failed. The pride retreats, licking their wounds, eyes still tracking the herd as it recedes into the distance. On the savannah, victory never belongs to one side forever. A little over a mile away, beneath the sparse canopy of an acacia woodland, another hunter waits with infinite patience. A leopard, draped motionless along a branch, roughly 16 feet above the ground. Her rosette-dappled coat, dissolving perfectly into the dappled light filtering through the leaves below. An impala drinks at the water's edge. The black stripes running down its rump glistened in the early morning sun. The unmistakable markings of the swiftest antelope on the savannah. Its ears rotate ceaselessly. Its short tail flicks without pause. But it never once looks up. A fatal mistake. The leopard drops like a teardrop forged from steel. No sound, no warning. A single strike, fangs driven with surgical precision into the nape of the prey's neck. It is over in near-perfect silence. But on the savannah, making the kill is only half the battle. Keeping it, that is the true art. The leopard clamps its jaws around the impala carcass, a kill weighing nearly half its own body weight, and begins the arduous climb back up into the tree. Step by step, muscles rippling beneath the spotted coat, claws biting deep into the bark. The meal is hauled aloft and draped neatly across the fork of two branches, beyond the reach of any lion, beyond the reach of any hyena. High above the ground, the leopard begins to feed alone, as she has eaten every meal of her life. The most solitary cat in all of Africa. But the sun has climbed high now. And from the east, the savannah receives an army of an entirely different kind. A pack of African wild dogs materializes on the horizon. Their coats are a shimmering patchwork of black, brown, and white beneath the midday sun. No two are alike. Each coat is a fingerprint unique to its owner. The African wild dog is the most efficient terrestrial predator on Earth. Their success rate stands at 80%, 4 times that of a lion, 10 times that of a leopard. The secret lies in a single word: discipline. They communicate through short, sharp chirps, through the direction of a glance, through the tilt of a head. A language so sophisticated that researchers have spent decades only beginning to decode it. The lead dog gives the signal. The pack splits into 2 groups. The first drives straight ahead. The second sweeps wide in an arc, cutting off the line of retreat. The targeted impala has no chance, caught in a pincer movement, exhausted in under 2 minutes. The pack shares the meal. The young eat first. The weakest are given their share. On this merciless savanna, it is the wild dog, of all creatures, that possesses the most compassionate social order. A lesson that a far more intelligent species has never learned. And then the sky itself changes. White-backed vultures, wingspans stretching over 6.5 feet, spiral on the thermals high above. Their eyes sweep the ground from hundreds of feet in the air. They do not need to rely on scent. They read behavior. When a distant flock of vultures begins to descend, that is the only signal required. More than 30 vultures drop onto the remains the wild dog pack has left behind. Their necks are bald, a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, designed to plunge deep into a carcass without harboring bacteria. Their stomachs contain acid powerful enough to destroy anthrax and cholera pathogens that would kill most other species outright. Vultures are not beautiful. Vultures are not majestic. But without them, the savanna would drown in carrion and disease. They are the silent sanitation corps, ensuring the great engine of the ecosystem never seizes up. But Africa is not the only place on this planet where life is compelled to fight for every second of its existence. Thousands of miles from the East African Savannah, beyond oceans and deserts, there exists a place where even the air itself becomes the enemy. The Tibetan Plateau, the roof of the world. Here, oxygen levels drop to just 60% of those found at sea level. Every breath is an effort. Every step costs twice the energy. On an ice-bound cliff face at roughly 14,800 feet, a shape appears and vanishes in the blink of an eye. Silver-gray fur merging seamlessly with stone, nearly invisible. The snow leopard, the ghost of the Himalayas, the only great cat on Earth to have claimed the roof of the world as its private kingdom. It lies motionless on a rocky ledge, pale green eyes scanning the valley below. In the absolute silence of the Himalayas, survival is decided in a matter of seconds. At roughly 20,000 feet, an altitude where most living creatures on Earth could not survive more than a few hours. An enormous dark shape moves slowly across a snow-covered mountainside. The wild yak, weighing up to 2,600 pounds. This is the largest bovid still living in Asia, and the mammal found at the greatest altitude anywhere on the planet's surface. Its black coat hangs down to the ankles, draping like a heavy curtain over the entire body. This is no decoration. It is a thermal fortress. Beneath the coarse outer guard hairs lies a dense layer of fine undercoat, so efficient at trapping heat that a yak can lie on snow without losing a single degree of body temperature. A yak's lungs are 3 times the size of those of a domestic cow of comparable build. Its red blood cells are smaller but far more numerous, transporting oxygen with remarkable efficiency through air, so thin it is suffocating. The curved horns extend over 3 feet in length, sweeping outward on either side before curving skyward. They are not merely weapons. They are symbols of sovereignty on the roof of the world. Mature bulls live solitary lives or in small bachelor groups, wandering the desolate plateau like kings without thrones, without territories. Only when the mating season arrives in September do they seek out the female herds. The contest for breeding rights plays out in thunderous clashes of horn that echo across the empty plateau. Females and their young live in large herds, sometimes numbering in the hundreds, drifting slowly across alpine meadows, grazing on grass, scrub, moss, and lichen. Their 4-chambered digestive system extracts nourishment from the most impoverished of foods, tough, desiccated grasses that no other domestic livestock would deign to touch. Humans first domesticated the yak at least 20,500 years ago. But that domestication came at a cost. The wild population was pushed ever higher, ever farther, ever deeper into isolation. Today, only 10,000 to 15,000 wild yak remain across the entire plateau. The IUCN classifies them as vulnerable, just one step from endangered. Poaching, hybridization with domestic yak, and climate change, 3 threats that are slowly strangling the last wild population. A female yak carries her calf for 257 days, nearly 9 months. One calf every 2 years on the roof of the world. Reproduction is a long-term investment. The newborn stands within 10 minutes of birth. At this altitude, there is no time for weakness. Those who cannot rise in time will die of exposure before any predator arrives. Each day, the herd covers 2.5 to 3 miles in search of grass. Their hoof prints carve trails across the plateau, paths that dozens of other species also depend upon. At around 16,400 feet, alpine meadows stretch to the horizon, and amid the carpet of green, scattered among the broken rock, a tiny creature is ceaselessly at work. The plateau pika, weighing a mere 5 ounces, lighter than a mobile phone. They resemble rabbits, round ears, short snout, no tail. But pikas are not rabbits. They belong to an entirely separate evolutionary lineage that diverged millions of years ago. The most extraordinary thing, pikas do not hibernate. Even when temperatures plunge to 22 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, they remain active on the snow-covered ground. The secret lies in their ability to reduce their metabolism by nearly 30% during winter, slowing the heart rate, depressing respiration, conserving every precious calorie. But even with that strategy, winter on the plateau remains a matter of life and death. Food all but disappears. Grass freezes as hard as stone. And so the pika turns to a source of nourishment that no one would expect: yak dung. Scientists have confirmed this through DNA analysis, published in the journal PNAS. This is a direct link connecting the yak at 20,000 feet to the pika at 16,400. When the yak disappears, the pika's winter food supply vanishes with it. But the pika is not merely a victim of winter. It is the primary prey of one of the most remarkable hunters on Earth. The Tibetan fox, owner of the most distinctively square face in the entire canid family, a feature possibly related to aerodynamics or the capacity to store fat in the cheeks. 99% of the Tibetan fox's diet consists of pika. Not most of it, virtually all of it. This is absolute dependency, with no contingency plan. When pikas vanish from an area, the Tibetan fox vanishes with them. No exceptions. No plan B. The fox also employs a rather ingenious tactic, following the Tibetan brown bear as it digs into pika burrows. The bear tears open the earth. Pikas panic and bolt. And the fox is waiting outside. Scientists call this commensal behavior, a relationship in which one party benefits without harming the other. The fox gets a free meal. The bear loses nothing. Between roughly 11,500 and 16,400 feet, the world transforms completely. Grassland gives way to sheer cliff faces. Wind howls with such force that no tree can take root. This is the kingdom of the snow leopard, the most enigmatic great cat on Earth. A single snow leopard's territory can span anywhere from 5 to nearly 800 square miles. So vast that two snow leopards may live a month's journey apart on foot and never once cross paths. Solitude here is not a choice. It is the law. Their coat is an engineering masterpiece of evolution. In winter, the belly fur grows to nearly 5 inches thick, the densest natural insulation of any cat on Earth. In summer, it recedes to around 2 inches, allowing ventilation for the rigors of mountain climbing. The body self-regulates with the seasons with astonishing precision. The nasal cavity is enlarged, larger than that of any other great cat, warming the frigid air before it enters the lungs. At 40 degrees below zero, a temperature identical on both the Fahrenheit and Celsius scales, every unwarmed breath could freeze lung tissue. But the most striking feature of all is the tail. Measuring 31 to 41 inches in length, nearly as long as the entire body. That magnificent, thickly furred tail serves a dual purpose. In motion across cliff faces, it functions as a natural counterbalance. At rest, the snow leopard wraps it around its own face, the warmest scarf on the roof of the world. The snow leopard's paws are unusually broad, dense pads of fur acting as natural snowshoes, distributing weight evenly across soft snow. They weigh between 50 and 121 pounds, with exceptional males tipping the scales at 165. They can leap 33 to 39 feet horizontally, a single bound that means the difference between life and death. But perhaps the most surprising fact of all, the snow leopard rests for up to 18 hours each day. On the roof of the world, energy is more precious than gold. Every calorie is hoarded for a single decisive pounce. And there is one thing that sets the snow leopard entirely apart within the genus Panthera, the lineage that includes the lion, the tiger, the leopard, and the jaguar. The snow leopard is the only member that cannot roar. Its larynx lacks the ossified hyoid necessary to produce that thunderous sound. Instead, it communicates through hisses, plaintive calls, and a distinctive rumbling purr. The silent ghost. That is not merely a nickname. It is a biological truth. But every ghost needs prey. And on these cliffs, prey does not come easily. The Himalayan blue sheep, the barrel, a mountain ungulate weighing between 77 and 165 pounds, distinguished by its blue-gray coat that renders it virtually invisible against the rock, and smooth, curving horns that sweep outward before hooking back behind the head. The hooves of the baral are a marvel of biological engineering. The hard outer rim grips rock like steel, while the soft inner core absorbs shock, functioning in effect precisely like a pair of professional mountaineering boots. With those remarkable boots, the baral traverses near vertical cliff faces, terrain where any predator must simply stop and stare. The baral's defensive strategy is a seamless marriage of camouflage and altitude. They will freeze, melting into the rock face. And if detected, they run upward, straight up the precipitous cliffs, where the treacherous terrain itself becomes their most dependable ally. The arms race between these two species plays out every single day. The snow leopard stalks the baral, detects the baral, bolts up the cliff face, and the snow leopard is left with a choice: pursue or wait for another opportunity. Most of the time, the snow leopard chooses to wait. A single misplaced step on a cliff face can inflict a fatal injury. And on the roof of the world, there is no one to administer treatment. They are most active at dusk and dawn, when the baral move between grazing grounds and resting ledges, and the snow leopard seizes the moment when its prey is at its least vigilant. The mating season is the only time this solitary creature seeks out another of its kind. The female issues a distinctive call that echoes through the valleys, a signal that males can detect from several miles away. They remain together for 2 to 8 days. Then the male departs. From that point forward, every burden of raising the young falls upon the female alone. Gestation lasts 93 to 110 days, surprisingly short for a great cat. Typically, 2 to 3 cubs are born, blind, and weighing less than a pound. The mother raises her cubs for 18 to 22 months. She teaches them to hunt, to climb, to conceal themselves, every skill required to survive on the frozen cliffs. Whatever the snow leopard does not finish will not lie wasted on the mountainside. There are others more patient, more numerous, waiting to claim their share. But before we meet them, we must descend lower still, to where one of the most ancient feline lineages on Earth is writing its own story of survival. The Pallas's cat resembles no other cat on the planet. Genetically, this is one of the most ancient of all feline lineages, diverging from the common ancestor of modern cats, approximately 9 million years ago. A uniquely compact body and the thickest coat in the entire cat family allow it to thrive in the punishing cold above 16,400 feet across the steppes and rocky highlands. No other cat on Earth possesses so distinctive an appearance. Weighing a mere 5.5 to 10 pounds and measuring just 20 to 26 inches. In total length, the Pallas's cat is short-bodied, low-slung, a stout physique that conserves heat and permits movement through narrow gaps between rocks. Its extraordinarily dense coat shifts color subtly with the seasons, silvery gray in winter, tawny brown in summer. Perfect camouflage against the plateau's backdrop of stone and dried grass. Predator or prey will not see this cat until it is far too late. The Pallas's cat lives alone. On the plateau, food is scarce, and a solitary existence minimizes competition, allowing each individual to make the most of the meager prey scattered across its vast territory. This is not a fast cat. Rather than speed, the Pallas's cat relies on patience, stealth, and that remarkable camouflage to close the distance before delivering a single decisive pounce. Its primary and most vital prey is the pika. The story of the pika is inseparable from the plateau's ecosystem. They are considered a keystone engineer because of the profound impact their burrow systems have on soil structure and vegetation. Today, pikas are found across the vast expanses of high-altitude steppe and rocky terrain, where they construct elaborate underground cities of astonishing complexity. A single pika weighs just a few ounces, its body round, tailless, with small circular ears. They are intensely vigilant, blessed with extraordinarily acute hearing. In summer, the pika's shrill alarm whistle rings across the valleys the instant danger is detected. They dash for their burrows, remaining hidden until the threat has passed. Pikas are most active in warmer weather, reducing activity during the brutal winter months. The Pallas's cat knows this schedule intimately and typically lies in ambush when the Pikas emerge to forage or bask on sun-warmed rocks. The hunt of the Pallas's cat is a masterclass in absolute patience. It presses its body flat against the ground, moves with excruciating slowness, exploiting every boulder, every tuft of grass for concealment, producing virtually no sound whatsoever. No commotion, no haste, nothing but intense concentration and the ability to remain motionless for hours on end, waiting for the single instant when the prey drops its guard. But on the plateau, a favored prey like the pika is not always easy to catch, particularly when winter drags on and the snow lies deep. When that happens, even the Pallas's cat must confront hunger or turn to hunting smaller rodents and birds to survive. From the snow leopard's cliffs down to the rocky flats and grasslands of the Pallas's cat and the pika, the web of life continues to weave itself tighter and tighter. But there is one more level, lower, warmer, greener, where the air at last grows dense enough for trees to form forests. And within those forests, creatures one would never suspect of being distant relatives share a single kingdom of bamboo. The eastern rim of the plateau, where Tibet meets Sichuan, mixed forests of conifer and broadleaf blanket the mountainsides from roughly 11,500 feet and below. Beneath the canopy, bamboo grows in dense profusion, a kingdom of green. And at the heart of that bamboo kingdom, a creature beloved by the entire planet sits feeding slowly, serenely, supremely indifferent to everything around it. The giant panda. That iconic coat of black and white, weighing between 154 and 353 pounds. The most famous bear on Earth and arguably the most peculiar. 99% of its diet is bamboo. Each day, it chews through 26 to 84 pounds of the stuff and devotes 10 to 14 hours to the act of eating alone. The paradox is this: the giant panda's gut is the gut of a carnivore. Short, simple, lacking any fermentation chamber. A meat eater that switched to a vegetarian diet and pays the price by eating without ceasing. The giant panda does not hibernate. Bamboo is available year-round. No need to stockpile. No need to economize. A rare privilege on the roof of the world. But the most extraordinary moment of all belongs to reproduction. A newborn panda cub weighs roughly 3.5 ounces, approximately 1/900th the weight of its mother. born pink, blind, utterly hairless. This is one of the smallest birth weight-to-mother ratios of any mammal on Earth, a phenomenon that science is still struggling to explain. They may appear ungainly, but giant pandas are surprisingly accomplished climbers. During mating season, as many as 5 males may compete for a single female, and the chase sometimes unfolds high in the treetops. Sharing the bamboo forest with the giant panda is a creature far smaller, yet carrying a title heavier than any accolade. The red panda, the last surviving member of the family Ailuridae, an entire biological family now represented by a single species on the face of the Earth. About the size of a domestic cat, weighing 8 to 14 pounds, its coat blazes like a flame amid the green of the forest. Roughly 60% of its diet consists of bamboo. The remainder is fruit, leaves, and insects. Its long, ringed tail serves the same purpose as the snow leopards: balance when climbing, and a wraparound blanket when the cold descends. Nature repeats its finest solutions. Semi-retractable claws allow the red panda to climb with professional agility, even descending trees head first, a skill that remarkably few mammals can perform. When threatened, they have 2 options: flee up a tree or rise onto their hind legs, claws extended, appearing far more formidable than their modest size would suggest. Sharing this same forest tier are the Tibetan macaques, the largest species of macaque in the world. A mature male is powerfully built, weighing up to nearly 44 pounds, distinguished by the thick beard and dense mane of fur, framing an unmistakable face. Tibetan macaque society is rigidly hierarchical. The alpha male presides over a troop of 40 to 50 individuals, driving younger males to the periphery, keeping the females close for life. Their most remarkable behavior is known as bridging, as 2 males lift an infant between them, grooming and nuzzling it. This is not simple affection. It is a sophisticated diplomatic ritual designed to diffuse conflict within the troop. They consume over 100 species of plant, storing food in spacious cheek pouches. When a troop grows too large, a subgroup splits away, a survival strategy to prevent excessive competition for food. Even this last green refuge is shrinking. Forests are being felled. And with every tree that falls, everything that lives within loses its only home. To understand the final cycle on the roof of the world, we must look skyward, where wings spanning nearly 10 feet cut silently across the heavens. The Himalayan vulture, a wingspan of 8 to just over 10 feet, wider than the height of most professional basketball players on Earth. The anatomy of a vulture is a story of evolution spanning millions of years. The head and neck are completely bare, not from disease, but by deliberate design. Evolution has eliminated feathers from the head and neck so that the vulture can plunge deep inside a carcass without accumulating blood or bacteria. A brutal solution, but a flawless one. The beak tears through flesh and sinew with ease, but the talons are comparatively weak. The vulture cannot hunt live prey. It was born to clean up, not to kill. And the most astonishing secret of all lies in the stomach. A pH approaching 0, acid so powerful it can dissolve bone. That stomach neutralizes the bacteria responsible for anthrax, botulism, and cholera, lethal pathogens capable of wiping out entire populations. If carcasses were left to decompose naturally on the grasslands, the Himalayan vulture is the invisible nurse of the plateau. No medicine, no instruments, armed only with its stomach. It controls disease across thousands of square miles. Breeding takes place on cliff faces above roughly 13,100 feet. Nests are built in peaceful communities, dozens of pairs nesting side by side without conflict. Each pair lays a single egg, thick-shelled, speckled with red. Both parents take turns incubating for 50 to 58 days, never leaving the nest. The chick remains in the nest for 6 months before it learns to fly. Half a year of protection, followed by a confrontation with the most unforgiving skies on Earth. A vulture's eyes can detect a carcass from thousands of feet in the air. When one descends, others spot the signal from far away and follow one by one, a visual network that spans the entire sky. Those wings, spanning nearly 10 feet, ride the rising thermals with barely a single flap. Energy conservation is an art that vultures have perfected over millions of years. On the roof of the world, the scavenger is every bit as vital as the predator. Without vultures, the plateau would become an open-air graveyard. An epidemic would spread with no force on Earth to stop it. But the health of these mountains cannot be measured by predators and scavengers alone. Sometimes the most accurate indicator of all comes from a small bird wearing the most resplendent plumage in the Himalayas. The Himalayan monal, the national bird of Nepal, a creature that looks as though someone dipped it in a rainbow and set it loose upon the mountains. Iridescent teal, shimmering violet, burnished copper, molten gold. The monal's plumage is not produced by pigment. This is photonic structure at the nanoscale. Light itself scattered through microscopic architectures on every single feather. In other words, the monal does not carry color. It creates color by bending light, a technique that humans have only just begun to understand at the level of advanced material science. It lives at elevations between roughly 6,900 and 14,800 feet in mixed alpine forests. CITES lists the monal under Appendix I, the highest level of trade protection on the globe. Each morning, the monal digs through snow and soil in search of roots, tubers, and insects. The act of digging disturbs the ground surface, aerating the soil and promoting the regeneration of vegetation. A quiet forest engineer that rarely receives due credit. The monal's most critical role, however, is as a biological indicator. A stable monal population signals a healthy forest. A declining monal population signals that human pressure has exceeded nature's threshold of tolerance. They are sensitive to the slightest changes: pollution, deforestation, a shifting climate. Long before the naked eye perceives a forest in decline, the monal already knows. When the monal vanishes from a forest, Tibet is whispering a warning, not about the bird, but about the very future of the entire roof of the world. And that warning grows louder with every passing day, because across the plateau, something is changing. Every species can feel it, but no species can stop it. Temperature. The Tibetan plateau is warming at twice the global average. Not 3 times, as some earlier claims suggested, but twice is more than enough to change everything. 45,000 glaciers are retreating year upon year. Scientists estimate that 2/3 of them could vanish entirely before 2050. But now we must return thousands of miles across oceans and deserts to where our story began. Back to the East African Savannah, where the sun is setting over the grasslands, painting the sky in shades of crimson and gold. The pride that failed this morning has found another opportunity. In the gathering dusk, 6 lionesses have cornered a wounded zebra, its leg broken from a fall, separated from its herd. This time, there are no Cape buffalo to intervene. The attack is swift, coordinated, and final. The hyenas are already gathering at the edge of the darkness, waiting their turn. The vultures are roosting in the acacia trees, knowing that dawn will bring another feast. And beneath the star-filled sky of Africa, the great cycle continues, as it has for millions of years. The snow leopard on its cliff, the yak on its glacier, the pika in its burrow, the panda in its bamboo forest. All of them, all of us, bound together by the same inescapable truth: life is never given. It is earned. Every breath must be purchased. Every heartbeat must be paid for. And in the final reckoning, there is no distinction between the hunter and the hunted, between the predator and the prey. They are all servants of the same master, the great engine of existence that pauses for no one, spares no one, but sustains everyone. When the sun rises tomorrow over the savannah, the hunt will begin again. The vultures will spiral on their thermals. The leopard will lie in wait. The wild dogs will sing their hunting song. And somewhere, far away on the roof of the world, the snow leopard will open its pale green eyes, wrap its magnificent tail around its face, and wait for the moment when the mountains whisper that it is time to hunt again. Because on this planet, in this world, there is no final victory. There is only the next dawn, the next hunt, the next breath. And that is enough. That has always been enough.